Hi everyone, I want to talk to you today about conditioning. Now, it's not the type of conditioning that you're probably thinking of where you condition your hair, but it's the process where we try to get our birds or even our dogs to enjoy doing things that they might initially perceive as being intrusive. Humans like you and I are conditioned by many sights, smells, and even sounds during our lifetime. For example, when we get a notification that we have a text on our phone, it makes some of us feel really excited that it might be that favorite person contacting us to make plans. This, however, the same sound could have a completely opposite effect for some other people. Many of you have observed that throughout my videos, Smokey appears to be really calm. She enjoys me handling her all over, and she doesn't really get ever aggressive. And for some people, you might think that, well, if I get a gray, it's going to be completely exactly like Smokey. But the truth of the matter is, what you don't see behind cameras and behind and off the screen is that it takes a lot of work and a lot of conditioning to get Smokey to the point where she is today. Now, before I bring Smokey inside to show all of you how I conditioned her to enjoy getting her nails trimmed, I want to remind you that if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button right below. That'll let you know whenever I post a new video so you don't miss out on the next video. So when we condition our birds to having their feet touched, we're trying to get them to understand that having their feet touched is a very positive and a very good thing. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to offer Smokey my finger as if I'm asking her to step up. Smokey, step up. Step up. Smokey, step up. Good girl! But instead of stepping up, I'm going to reward her right when she touches my fingers with her feet. So let me do that again. Smokey, step up. Good girl! I want you to notice that at the very beginning, when she has her foot on me, I'm not going to grab her foot. I'm not going to even touch her foot. All I'm doing right now is I'm teaching her and trying to associate that when her feet touches my finger, really good things happen. Smokey, foot. Good girl. Now, Smokey has been conditioned to this before, so if you're doing this with your bird, it's going to take a lot more repetitions until your bird is comfortable enough for you to move on to the next step. The next step would be, I'm going to offer my finger now, but instead of just having her put her finger on having her put her foot on my finger, I'm going to be touching her foot very lightly with my thumb. Smokey, foot. 1, 2, 3. Good girl. I hold it there for about 3 seconds or until however long my bird is comfortable with me doing that. And I gradually increase the duration over time. Foot. 1, 2, 3. Good girl. Smokey, foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good girl. So you always want to move at your bird's pace with however comfortable they are. So I started holding her foot for 3 seconds, now 5 seconds, and let's see if I can beat that 5-second mark. Smokey, foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good girl. Now, rather than having a complete stranger restrain Smokey for a simple nail trimming, which could be pretty traumatizing, I could easily condition her to want to have her feet touched and just trim her nails at home. Now, I did a video on this a while back, but I wanted to kind of do a follow-up with something that I found is going to work a lot better with most of you, especially if you're new to this and you're afraid of making your bird bleed. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use a nail filer. I want to let you guys know this works with birds, it works just as well with dogs. Whenever I play with Smokey, whenever I play with Snuggles, I would always sometimes just play with Snuggles' paws. I will paw her when I'm giving her a belly rub. I will hold her paws when I'm playing with her sometimes. And this just lets our animals know that when we hold their feet or their paws, it's not a bad thing. We're not trying to we're not trying to hurt them, but instead it's just play. Smokey, foot. So I'm going to show you right now that Smokey is used to having her foot being touched, I can simply use this nail filer and I'm going to file her nails away. What's really important for you to notice is that the finger that I'm using to hold her claws, that finger stays still. The only thing that moves is the nail filer. Smokey has learned over time also that these are not a bad thing because I actually use this filer sometimes to just scratch her head. So by doing this, I let her know that one, not only is my finger not scary to be around, but the nail filer is actually, hey, it's something that's pretty cool. My owner uses this to scratch my head. So sometimes when I trim her nails, she'll literally just bring her head up and she'll act really calmly because she's been conditioned to like this. Alright, so I just zoomed up. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better. What I like about trimming Smokey's claws rather than clipping it with a nail clipper is that they're really, I've never made her bleed by doing this, whereas with a nail clipper, if you first begin and you're not really sure what to clip, you could easily make your bird bleed. So this kind of eliminates that risk. Alright, so aside from conditioning your birds to having just their claws being touched, it's also important that you also condition your birds to having all of their bodies kind of being handled in case something does happen to your bird and you need to take them to the vet and we need to restrain them. They're okay with us doing that. So Smokey's okay with me, for example, holding her wings out. And this is also important in case she has a broken blood feather. And let me go behind her. Same thing with her tail. You guys take a look here. Look at all these pretty feathers. Good bird, Smokes. Look at all that red. What a good bird. Conditioning does take some time and it takes consistency, but overall, I think at the very end, there's a huge payoff because instead of forcing our birds or even our dogs to do things that they don't want to do, through conditioning, we're able to teach them to want to do these things and want to comply with what we ask them, and that just makes our lives a lot easier. Now, as you guys can also see, things like conditioning and positive reinforcement isn't the most exciting things that will make television. So I think, the sad truth is, even though these things are so much more effective than punishment, people don't really tune in to these kinds of things because, hearing about dominance, hearing that, there's a flock leader or a pack leader that, dominates all of the other birds or all the other dogs in the pack, that makes for much better entertainment in TV. And that's why, this positive reinforcement, this whole conditioning thing isn't mainstream. But at the same time, that's why I love making these YouTube videos because I'm not required to answer to anybody. I don't have to edit my content to fit, like what a producer wants that will sell on TV. I'm able to just make these videos based on what I know that is best for the bird, and also that's going to make your relationship with your bird so much stronger. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, but most importantly, I hope that you will all join me in this movement to drive bird training and dog training away from conventional methods that are based on, being this macho leader who enforces rules through physical force, but rather to kind of make more mainstream, positive reinforcement and kinder methods of training that relies on clear communication and that's less confrontational.